Hey, I hope all you can hear me. It is raining outside. I mean, raining. Holy shit. Anyways, it's loud. I just wanted to give an update on the car real quick. It's getting real close, but money is real tight. I'm not sure if it'll get done or not. Every time I think that it's not going to get done, I find something that saves me money, and I don't know, I'm down to getting plates and insurance and a drive shaft and a belt, and not much else. I think that's going to be about it. Coming along real nice. I don't know if you pictures really don't do this thing justice, but this thing is low. I mean, it's midway up my thigh there. It's low. Got it blocked because I don't want to move it into the garage door. We don't have no drive shaft, so. Alright, let's talk about a few things that I did. I still got the fuel pressure gauge on here because I don't have a regulator hooked up yet. I'm trying to figure out what to do on that. Nick Baker brought me a regulator, and I think it'll work. I just gotta get some fittings for it. How about that turbo? That is an HX35 off of a Cummins. And when I first got it, of course it was donated, or I'm borrowing it. Let's just say that. I'm borrowing this turbo. And at first, I thought it was the bigger turbo off of a 6.7. Little did I know, I finally looked at the tag on it and it said HX35 on it. So that's like the smallest turbo that Cummins used on a diesel, on an inline 6 diesel engine. Okay. There is a reason why I'm going to go ahead and use it. There's a ton of people ask about this turbo on these engines, and everybody who asks the question gets shot down and says, no, just spend $1,000 and get you a S480 or whatever. I know, and everybody else says it, that this turbo is too small. I do know that. It's a T3 housing. I don't even know what the size of the compressor wheel and the turbine wheel is, and it doesn't matter. What's good about these turbos are they're everywhere. How many Cummins engines were built between now and 1990 or earlier? So there's a lot of these turbos out there, and they're cheap. I think that this engine would do well with twins of this same turbo. This turbo will work, but there's a few things I'm worried about. I'm worried about overspooling it, junking the turbo, on the first outing, and the wastegate. I tried. Nick and I tried to adjust this wastegate to where it would open at a lower pressure. Well, I've got it hanging open about 1/4 inch right now. I don't know what that's going to do, but it doesn't fully open until 25 psi, according to his regulator and gauge. Yeah, that's a little worrisome, but we'll just see what happens. I'll go out and test it a couple times, real easy, and see what it does. So then, after I have an answer on what this turbo is going to do on a 5.3, I will be able to tell everyone, hey, this is what it does, and we'll have it on video. We'll document it. It's either going to work, or we're going to burn up another piston or scatter the thing, whatever. Anyways, on the back side of this turbo, it uses a 2.5 inch V-band. So already we're choking the engine down. It's a mess. I used that down to this 2.5 inch to 3 inch coupler, and I made sure it was far enough along this pipe to where it hides under the hood so you can't see the welds that look like pelican shit. I put a wideband O2 sensor in it. It's an Innovate. I've heard some weird things about the Innovate sensors here lately, but it's what I've got, and I'm just going to use it. The drain, I've already got tapped into this oil pan a long time ago. I've got 2 -10 fittings on each side of the oil pan. And then, as you can see, everything's where it needs to be at. The nitrous, I've only got the nitrous hooked up and not the fuel side. The reason being is because of using this turbo, I'm hoping that I won't have to run as big a shot of nitrous as I was planning. Originally, we weren't thinking that we were going to use a turbo, but I didn't know this until, what, a week ago? Week and a half ago? So, originally I was going to try to use like a 300 shot of nitrous progressively. Now I'm probably going to shoot maybe a 75 shot. 100 shot maybe, I don't know. We'll just play around with it if we got enough time to tune it. That's another big issue. It's hooked up to a switch up here on the throttle. I don't know if you can hear it clicking or not. Maybe if I shut my mouth, maybe you could hear it. Yeah, the exhaust. How about that Duesenberg deal going on here? There's a Dynamax bullet muffler, I think it is. It might tone it down a little bit. It's what I used on the truck a long time ago. I've got -6 AN fittings and line coming up to here, which I still need hose clamps for the rubber line. But I use the copper brake line that you can get from O'Reilly's, and I use that for my going up to the cooler, which is in front of the radiator. You can't see it now, but it's a 3/8 copper brake line, so I could bend it really easy by hand, and it didn't kink. It works really well, other than the fact that it costs you $25 for a 6-foot stick of it. That's kind of, I don't know, kind of high, but it's not expensive if you got to have it, right? Okay. Trunk shutter, I'll show you the meth kit. I'm sure we'll show it off again here later on, but the meth kit is all wired up with the nitrous and it works. And you can see inside that plastic line there's a purple fluid in here. That pump was used off of a sprayer and it's still got chemical in it, and I gotta get it flushed out. Yeah, we'll get it done. Okay, let's talk about this neglection deal going on. May 19th and 20th is the no prep deal, you know, as long as it doesn't get rained out or anything. I'm not sure what the deal is if we get rained out. I just thought about that the other day. It's in May, so it's hard to tell what the weather's going to be like. You know, it's Indiana, so it's kind of unpredictable. Today is not the 16th. It is the 29th? 29th or 30th? I don't know. It's Sunday. Let's see. Because of school coming up here in another week, I'm really going to be pressed to get this thing done. I still have to go out and tune it. And that sucks. So, I'm not good at tuning cars. I'll just tell you that right now. Let's see here. The Wagler Competition Products truck pool. I don't know if they have tractor pools there or not. I think it's just trucks. That is at Eleanor, Indiana, June 10th. Now, I did get told that the gas versus diesel race at Lyons, the same track as the neglection race, is going on June 11th, which is a Sunday, and I'm really excited about that. I hope that if I can't, for whatever reason, make this race, I'm hoping I can make this one. But with school coming up, I won't have a job. It's kind of hard to, you know, build a race car without a job. I'm sure there's people out there that do it, but I don't have that government stuff coming in. Okay. Engine mounts I ain't dicking with. I'm gonna leave it as it is. Coolant overflow. Did I show you the overflow? I gotta show you that. Mini spool. I do have a mini spool in the car now, and it's full of oil, and the gearing in this thing is stupid. It's got like 41 teeth on the, and I may be wrong, I may have miscounted. Once I get past, you know, however many fingers I've got, that then, you know, counting comes kind of hard. But I think it's got 41 teeth on the ring gear and 17 teeth for sure on the pinion. I had to take my shoes off for that one. But doesn't, I'd have to calculate it again, but doesn't that come out to like a 241 rear gear? Does that sound right at all? That's like, you know, you've heard of airplane gears. Well, these are space shuttle gears. So maybe it'll do well at that half-mile shootout in French Lick. Meth other than the nozzle is done. Nitrous other than the nozzle is done. Wiring is done. I just wired up the wideband a little bit ago. Hood, probably going to be the last thing. Got to do a bunch of cutting there. Let's see, this is the coolant overflow. That's out of a 90, like a 4th gen F body. That's what that's out of. It almost looks factory in this thing. I had to redo the wiring for the electric fans again. And I really don't know what else to tell you. I'll show you the gauge setup on the inside. I've got wiring laying around here everywhere, but I'm gonna screw this down to the floor, and then I'll probably just run the boost gauge. I don't care about the oil pressure. I know it's got oil pressure. The wideband deal, I found this 2-pod A-pillar thing here. I just screwed it to the floor to where I can see the wideband gauge. And I'll have to tie some of the wiring up. It's a wreck. Nitrous bottle's going to stay up here. I was kind of hoping I'll be able to keep it in the rear, but we don't have enough line for that. I don't have a tack. I've still got to do something about the lower radiator hose. I've got a straight water neck coming. So I should be able to get that lined out here for the next couple of days. And that's it. I don't know what else to really tell you. I'm excited. I want to get the car done and rolling, but at the same time, here's something that's been bugging me. I'm not waiting. I've been working on this thing for a while, but it's coming down to the wire to where I have to make a decision, and I'll probably know right away, like the first weekend I get to drive it and try to tune it. I don't want to get this car and not do a good job tuning it and then take it to the track and just oil down the track at a no prep event. I don't want to ruin everybody else's good time. If I feel comfortable with the car and if the turbo wastegate deal works out and everything's okay, then I'll take it. But you know, I'm not going to try to tune it like the day of and then take it up there and blow it up and everybody hate me. I've never oiled down a track, and I don't want to chance it either if I don't think the engine is right. So yeah, so anyways, I would rather skip the race if I didn't feel comfortable with the way it was running. But as of right now, I plan on going if I can figure out a way to get the drive shaft made.